Parashat Vayigash ends on a positive note. Egypt has come through 7 years of famine, and all are alive and well. The Egyptians are grateful to Yosef. Hech ihitanu, they tell him, you've allowed us to survive. And Bnei Yisrael are doing great. V'yechazu va v'yifra'u v'yirbu'u ma'od. They're multiplying and settled in very well in a special portion of Egypt in Goshen. The end of the parsha also portrays a society which Yosef's plan has utterly transformed. Yosef's successful execution of that plan has affected at least these 7 changes. 1. Bnei Yisrael are separate and established and thriving in Goshen, a separate place. 2. All land has become all private land has now the property of Paro. 3. All private money and animals, all assets, are now the property of Paro. 4. The people are now a class of serfs, or according to a simple reading, slaves to Paro. 5. The people are all displaced from their ancestral lands and living elsewhere in Egypt. 6. Farmers, these new farmers must now pay a 20% tax to Paro. And finally, 7, in contrast to all of this, the priests retain their ancestral land and pay no tax at all. The upshot is that Yosef's plan has enabled Bnei Yisrael to survive and thrive. It has enslaved Egypt's population. It has left its priestly class in power and along with its privilege. And finally, it has strengthened and empowered the already divine king and the power of his empire in all likelihood as well. The Chumash, by contrast to all of this, fashions and envisions a society that is the exact opposite of that which Yosef created in Egypt. Anochi Hashem Elokecha asher hoteiticha me'eretz Mitzrayim mebeit avadim asher bana Yosef. I, says Hashem in the first of the Aseret HaDivrot, am the Lord your God who took you out of Egypt from the house of bondage, to which we might add, which Yosef built. What are those differences in those reversals? First, the king is Mikerev Achecha. He is one of your brothers. He is subject to God's law, limited in power, and must be requested by the people. 2, the land belongs to no person. Ki li haaretz. It all belongs to Hashem. 3, Hashem then grants every man a nachala, a portion of agricultural land for him and his descendants forever. Even if poverty or some other circumstances forces him to sell that land, the Yovel year restores it to him and his descendants forever once again. A king, like Achav, for example, who even requests to purchase from a commoner like Navot, for example, his nachala, his ancestral property, violates the essential nature of Jewish society as set out by the Chumash. Chalila li me Hashem mititi et nachalat avotecha lecha. For me, it is a desecration of God for me to give you my ancestral plot, Navot says to Achav. And Achav's violation of this further, by taking it and killing Achav and all the rest, killing Navot and all the rest, leads to the destruction of Beit Achav and eventually to the destruction of the entire northern kingdom and its exile from Jewish history. 5. Bnei Yisrael are avadaihem. They are not servants to any person, to any king. They are servants to Hashem. And the institution of slavery itself is enormously regulated and restricted, both for Jews and, to a certain extent, even for non-Jews. 6. Shevet Levi has no nachala. Hashem is their nachala, and they have no ancestral property as a tribe. They are scattered among the other tribes. Ani chelka v'nachalatcha, Hashem says to them, I am your portion. And 7, instead of them being exempt from tax, they are the ones who receive the tax because they are poor. The rest of Bnei Yisrael supports them with 2 ma'asrot payments, along with other poor people among the Jewish people. The chomesh, which the Egyptians paid, now becomes 2 ma'asrot payments, 2 10% payments paid to support the dependent Kohanim. What is the basis for all of this vision and for all of these changes? Well, over the years, different scholars have proposed different ideas. Josh Berman, a boger of our yeshiva, in his book Created Equal, suggests there's an egalitarian theology and society of society and politics and the economy, which underlies all of these changes. For Warren Goldstein, who is the chief rabbi of South Africa now for many years, for him it refers to the idea as the vulnerability principle, that the fundamental principle of Jewish law is attending to the weak and the needy, those who are less powerful in society. And according to Binyamin Porat at the Israel Democracy Institute, the fundamental principle underlying all of this and so much more is achva. The operating principle of Jewish society, according to the Torah, is brotherhood among all of its citizens. Underlying all of these, I suspect, is the ancient statement which Hashem made to Avraham, V'shamru derech Hashem lasot tzedakah mishpat. He and his descendants are to follow the way of the Lord in order to do tzedakah or mishpat, to do what Moshe Weinfeld, an Israel Prize winner, refers to as social justice in ancient Israel and in the ancient Near East by contrast. In our present Jewish state, we must first and foremost realize these very ideas. And in some ways, particularly in comparison to other countries, Baruch Hashem, it does. And in others, we have a way to go and areas that we continue to prove our society. In any event, returning to the Parsha, we must appreciate both Yosef's incredible success in saving the world from famine, and that the long-term results of the plan which he implemented are the very opposite of the Torah's vision for society, az v'achshav, then and now alike. Shabbat Shalom.